today. Lights go out, away we go. It's a good start from Luca Marini again. A good horse he does, but Bagnaia swings back round on contact between Marco Bezzecchi in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, aggressive Fabio there, but he had to be. I'd have thought Rins would have been a bit more aggressive. We've got
with one of the Aprilias, was it both the Grassini bikes?
I don't know. It might have been Folger.
As it was, who's gone down, and it was Jorge Martin who went with him. It was one of the proper one who he fancied perhaps for the podium today. And here comes Rins, first lap, turn 11, hangs on to the lead.
They're the ones where when we say let the brake off, what does that mean? It means at that point, because by doing that, look now already, you've given him all that, what is it now, about 5 bike lengths lead.
In front of him, that's Maverick Vinales. Is it Aleix? It's Aleix who's gone down. What a dramatic start to this race already. He crashes out at turn 12, so it's for Marini in 5th, Bezzecchi now in 6th.
Not that it's going to be a surprise, but I was keeping my eye on Jack. And it was a long race for him. Speaking to him this morning, he said, I've got to get the jump off the line. And
Bastianini was the race winner. They're in those spots already today, but it's Pecco Van and the gap to Alex Rins behind. Is there anything from this position they can do other than hope?
They'd have gone wide, they'd have both gone wide, but you wouldn't have this scenario.
This is what happened with
Here we go.
Martin. Wow, that's ugly. That's really ugly. That could hurt Alex Marquez.
Aleix it's literally over that patch. We've talked about it all weekend. There's a patch. You cannot believe how poor the surface is there. So Rins is digging it.
From here, Bagnaia gets into his own in the more tricky section of Martin's bike, and it was a heavy one that took him to the outside of the racetrack.
In the background, literally from the moment he grabbed the brakes, how he managed to stay on the motorcycle there, that was unbelievable.
A bit of time to come in, so I wonder if for Alex Rins, he's just been waiting for that front hard tyre starting to get the right feeling that you needed, and it still is a long race, isn't it?
Yeah, it's talking to Bradall.
On board with Pecco Bagnaia, and Rins is coming back to him. I will say that doses out the pace, so he ensures that he has something at the end of the race. And Fabio Quartararo here is interesting in 4th place, Neil, because whereas yesterday he was a fairly clear track for him, his pace was almost as good as Bagnaia's yesterday.
Yeah. So what he's got now, the fact that there's a gap in front of him to Jack, that's okay. He can run his own lines. But where you get stuck behind, he can't use his flowing lines. Jack will use the power of that V4 KTM.
Now, Alex Rins, have you got anything for him here? Why, Neil? Whoa! Both of them wobbling.
It's like being on a damp track. This track is so weird, right? It's Valencia. You'll see that. Ducati's the best bike on the grid. Rider can make the difference. Rins loves this place. He's won in Moto3, Moto2 and in Moto. Your attitude, he's come here. I did the track guide with him on Thursday. He was super excited. Got a top 5, it'd be a good result. But look at him go. The rider is making the difference. That's what Marquez was aware.
Well, Nakagami's down in 14th, Mir in 12th.
Yeah.
And Bradall in execution on his penalty for now, until the appeals are heard. Fastest rider on the circuit, Neil Hodge. Let's not forget Miguel Oliveira couldn't get anywhere near the rest of the field, and Brad Pindo, I think, was down in chances in this race with what his feelings of the bike were, how well it stops in the hard braking.
Yeah, he's a motocrosser anyway, a very good one at that, actually. So you come round here and you have to ask
Bagnaia.
Well, it is good.
I thought you were about to say none.
No, it is good. He does Rins a lot of the time. He just brakes. He trail brakes more than Bagnaia. And when I mean by trail brake, than Bagnaia. Look, it's not good for your exit, but it's a good way of gaining time and obviously making.
In turn 12, just watch them as we come to the apex. It always felt like yesterday Rins would close at feeling ill all weekend. Jorge Martin bravely got that 3rd place yesterday. Obviously, that's where he lost the front.
And on a first lap crash like that in turn there, look at the pictures, it looks like it's a beautiful day. The temperature's okay, but that wind's caught in the front tyre. How many times has Sylvain Guintoli told us about these tyres?
Activation.
For Martin, it was like he'd gone over oil, wasn't it? He was, face planted him.
The pace is picking up. Every 203s from Alex Rins. Yesterday's fastest lap of the sprint race. Rins has just done a 203.1. And, we're talking about people having to dose out the long...
They'll have, different mats that they can switch to throughout the race to take away a little bit of part of the tyre, the grippiest part of the rubber. Once that's worn away, you change the maps to like a manageable.
Rins has always had a little bit of tyre towards the end of the race. We didn't know how much is a bit of something extra towards the end of the race. Had a little bit of something, if you remember, towards the end. We'll find out in this race, 15 and a half to go.
It's him. He is
be shy. He won't be backward in coming forwards. on the KTM in check, but the KTM has. If you see Brad Binder, how well he comes forward as a race goes, third spot.
It's full of surprises, Jack. I mean, he finished 9th yesterday, was 12 seconds down after.
Not so tough for Bagnaia. I thought Rins was going to be able to, he swooped back in front, but again it was that, watch Rins will go for a tighter line into turn. Kind of, I'm not saying he makes more of a U out of the corner,
but he does. You know, making a sharper V out of it. Do you know, we saw in the sprint race, a few people said to me after it, when you've got someone like Bagnaia at the front who is so fast, and Gav, you just mentioned the lap times are circulating at similar speeds, and that's why it sort of created a, let's say, a can. I mean, Quartararo's 4th, he just set his fastest lap of the race, and that's only 0.2.
He was a 10th quicker than Bagnaia, 2 tenths quicker than Rins on that previous lap.
Sorry, it was that was terrible.
Well, that was what starts. You know, we do have problems. We need to fix it. Here comes Alex Rins, right on the rear tyre of Pecco Bagnaia. This is the battle for the 17 and 18. There is Vinales. He's recovered to 8th place. Oh, he's there. Is Rins just trying to do the Valentino Rossi classic of stalk him and let him know? Remember when he was on pole in Sachsenring last year?
Yeah, and
similar kind of situation.
In front of him. If he can get in front of him, it'll just make his life so much easier. Look how much he lost. Obviously, we've been in the paddock for 10 years. He's someone we don't know that well because he keeps himself to himself. Rider I've never done this with before. And he went, really? And I said, yeah, every time we ask you, you said, which, I've got to say...
no. Jack Miller's gone. Oh no, it's crashed out of the way, maybe at turn 7 or something. Can't quite pace to match. I mean,
as he clipped a
set fast lap. Let's have a look. We have seen that.
Get ready. But so many crashes this weekend through those flip.
Fabio Quartararo up into 4th position, into 3rd position. Sorry, into the podium spot. Tina, when he had to recover all those positions after a collision with Taka Nakagami early on, had 3rd place in the sprint race in Argentina, but searching for that.
Fabio did a lot of talking to the press yesterday afternoon after the race, after 2017 for the first time. Up until now, the bike's it looks like a spaceship compared to our motorcycle.
And he also talked a lot as we go. Bagnaia has gone down. We said it might happen. We said this track will bite back. The championship was leading the race, and Bagnaia has done what he did at Germany last year. He crashed out last week in Termas, and he's thrown away big points here.
And I mean, it's another unforced error. We're on lap 7. By the time your tyres, you're not at the point where the tyres have gone. Unreal. How much he knew, and he was pushing. The lap times Bagnaia was doing were really, really fast. Thought this, I mean, wow, incredible.
Lucio Cecchinello will be having kids.
I mean, ex-racer Lucio, the most passionate man you will meet in this paddock. He runs a great team. It's like a family in there. I was talking to the PR girl, I can't believe how nice he is, the atmosphere in the team, and she's like, it's like a family. I went, yeah.
I wouldn't like to go near him at the moment because he'll be in his own little world praying. I remember when in 2018, or you won in Brno, remember, in the wet conditions, but long way to go, and Fabio Quartararo, we know, has good pace.
What? He was on his soapbox last night.
Hey, he was demanding almost. He didn't quite say it, that top brass, that's not what they do. They always in Grand Prix racing gone the inline route.
The corners. I mean, the famous saying of, look, there's 20 corners and 1 straight, so we
head in hands, and they will be devastated down there at Ducati. But for this,
not the sprint where the points aren't as much. You know, these are the big points. Every first lap of free practice 1, I was watching Bagnaia, and he has dumped the pressure. We've seen it before. Rins just turned the screw a little bit, and boom, he was down.
Around the racetrack, who is it? Anyway, we're on board with Fabio Quartararo. Didn't take part, of course, last time after injury. Crashed in the sprint race in Portugal, the 11th in Portimao.
And for a rider who's not normally... this year it's been, he will be keeping that helmet on for a long time. Visor to the airport, which is literally about 5 minutes away.
No, you see them, don't you, all the time in the back of...
It goes so early.
It does. We've seen the remember once going down in that corner, and they're so fast down there. Bagnaia again, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
I am speechless.
Well,
I think Bagnaia is going to absolutely destroy them, and it's like, yeah, well, that's what I was saying. From behind, full attack mode from him. I can't believe it. I'm so half-race distance.
Exactly.
And as it stands, the gap's staying at about 2.1.
Not of your own volition. They're in turn 2 and
I can't see.
Look like he does much wrong.
I can't see that he's done it.
Gabarini, and they were a bit, yeah, not really, didn't do that much wrong. I wasn't following anyone, and yet the Ducati drops by the wayside.
For Rins. And there's one thing Rins is really good at. Let's not forget, Rins won 2. That always needs a toe, always looking to follow people. Once Rins gets his position on a Honda.
Maverick Vinales making progress after a shocking start. He's up to 5th now. Contact. Here's Oliveira, and he is going to fire it through there. Oliveira, wow, doing, and he wants to show that he's equally as good on a bike. That Aprilia that he's new to this on that bike. Looks so good at the opener in Portugal.
Yeah, you're right. Mapping 2. Saw that Zarco been nerfed out the way a corner before, and he's like, oh, all right. It's like the
camera there, preferring to pick the bike up than try and pull it. Second wolf in the attack there, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He's in one go for it, and he thinks, right, I'm going to join in here. Kick a man 12, and now he goes down another tight hairpin. That is not like
that. Sums up this weekend, this track, the complaints from all the track's really worn. We stand in pit lane a lot. I look down at pit lane and the surface.
Did he not score a point last year, Brad Binder? And unfortunately, it's not now. It really is a battle of attrition.
Trail breaking him. I mean, it went.
Here at the front.
What's happening with the gap?
Nakagami's gone down, so Rins
up into turn 1 on the Honda, and that went so early. Here in the MotoGP, there's only what have we got now? We're going to have 14 riders riding round.
And Marini, because Marini's being brought along for the ride, are closing on Alex Rins. And as he comes to turn 12 there, Luca Marini looking like he's out of shape, but with that Ducati, it's like a corner. So, out of this race, Martin and Alex Marquez crashed out, retired from the race early on in it. We didn't see that one, did we? Jack Miller, Taka Nakagami, 14 runners, Brad Binder last, having also crashed out.
It's in damp one morning. We had obviously the hot temperatures of yesterday, so it was 1.7. Actually, it's gone back up to 1.9, but yeah.
Remaining, Luca Marini will fancy a chance. Look, he looks in line for a first podium, but even Rins, who's got a 2-second lead, he's going to have to earn his corn in this remaining 8 laps.
The curb there, the rear came round.
What about Quartararo, GP races and championships?
And being consistent and hitting his markers to him. This is where Fabio's at his best.
2.1 seconds. It's
Ducati power, get ready. Press the turbo button about now. Look at, I mean...
Oh, brakes, isn't he?
Yeah.
But Luca Marini's just going to bring it down. He's seen his teammate win, Luca Marini. Marini, 2.2 seconds back on Alex Rins.
And what did I say, Italian? And his teammate, you think, well, Betz's good, but he's no Marc Marquez.
Has come down to 1.6 seconds. It's like Marini's been freed here.
Yeah.
He couldn't, could he? And on his brother's team's bike, let's not forget, the VR46, the championship with Marco Bezzecchi. Never been on the podium before, and across the line, the gap stands.
I think there must have been.
A little warning, perhaps.
Well, we'll find out on this lap, really. We'll
the team, as well as everything else that he does. He's a workaholic.
He is.
I've worked with them, over the years, and I speak to Lucio quite a lot, and there is never a... he was there living in the workshop. Basically, he said, I had to keep busy, didn't want to go home at any point, set up a bed in there, and he started sorting out stuff,
Is this going to be the mistake, Gav? Or is it just going to be Rins doing what we're...
The Apex so well, and how the Honda always... Actually, we talk about it's being good at this trail braking, if that makes sense. That part of the corner where...
On the Honda?
Yeah. You think you're talking about corner exit, but actually it's corner entry part.
I spoke to a few of them. Power delivery. I mean, apart from that, they said the bike's absolutely mint.
It'll be something for Marc Marquez as well. We were all quite tinfoil hat, weren't we, about Marc doesn't chuck in the towel or anything like that readily, but what I mean by that is he's got his, whereas the Marc Marquez in his pomp, and I know he's learned from some of the injuries, but a broken thumb. This will be a fillip for all of Honda, as if to say, come on Honda, you've got
a lot from this man. I'll tell you what, Marc Marquez, because of his incredibly special, I've come the Honda when it was good and it had been developed by Danny Pedrosa. From then over his ability. And then, but you get people like Alex Rins jumping on the bike for the first time at Valencia last year. So, but Honda are listening to him and they are making steps, but there's only so much they can do.
It's been a bike which on paper looks like it would be not that competitive, and turn it in was thinking there, but for the grace of God go I, because he should have been him actually, Suzuki, and yet injuries and mistakes cost him that season. But the gap has suddenly shot up, Neil, to 2.5 seconds between Alex Rins, right in that mid 203 bracket, whereas Marini at 203.9.
Yeah, again, 0.6 of a second, that is the lap, that is. I can't believe, I mean, second off the lap record with 5 laps to go. I mean, he must be comfortable.
Well, it might
be doing more track guides with me on Thursday. He actually, I saw him earlier when he was walking through the paddock. I'll be doing more.
And you'll be taking the credit.
What, me?
Whatever happens here from Marini, challenges for victory or not, if he takes the first podium, that helps cut it at this level. Struggled when he stepped in briefly in Moto3, did one challenge for the championship with Bagnaia and Bezzecchi on a couple of occasions. He showed last year, didn't he?
Yeah.
Really came through and proved that he is a GP rider, and now he just needs to add a podium into his palmarès.
Yeah, real and understanding. Obviously, it's a bit hard. Imagine having Valentino Rossi as your half
for him, isn't it?
But it's an Albatross, and obviously, you can argue that it's worked for him because maybe some of the other when he first started. But I tell you what, he's a class act. When you watch him out on track,
speak to him from the media, he is so analytical. He's thoughtful. Really, well, we all remember him when you were in this paddock, Neil, as a little nip.
Yeah, it's so funny. Well, I remember when Leon Haslam, who's 40 now, was about 3 years old walking with things at that time. It was a bit of a shock, but he was quite a cheeky little chappy even then, with that little grin.
Rins up the hill, leading Luca Marini. It's back out to 2.4 seconds. It was a 3.7. Rins at 203.9. Let's have a listen. Turn up your sound on. Ducati became a speck in the distance down the straight on board with him.
To get on board with a lap and turn up the volume, but the downshifts, it sounds like the RPM's literally go. It's like, it's so fast, it's bam, but that's a seamless gearbox as well, isn't it? Fantastic.
On board with Maverick, close attendance, excellent from Oliveira, isn't it? Back from injury.
How much do you reckon Oliveira wants to? That's last year's bike, Gav.
Yeah,
following him.
I wonder if as well there's going to be comments from Maverick.
Blamed himself yesterday, and unless there was a technical issue, it looked more reaction.
That's clear.
Oh, he might have tried something different and decided to try and start in third gear. I mean, it was all...
Quartararo in third. I think that's him done now. 1.8, the gap between himself and Luca Marini. Go to Momola in the middle, who's team coordinator down there. Oh, when Alex Rins, and he could be about to become a two-time winner. Remember, he beat Valentino Rossi to victory. Marini crossing in second behind him. I think that's one of his 3 track limits exceeded there. Yales can conjure up something.
I wish we did have a heart rate monitor on this man though. Yes, he's carrying corner speed. It's funny, the other Honda riders were commenting on his data, saying that he had, so on all the faster flowing corners, he's got miles more corner speed than Mir and Nakagami. Breaks in really hard, gets it stopped and fires it out.
The thing for me is the elbow position.
How old's Rins now? Is he like 28?
He's 27.
27. Wow, it feels like it feels never been slow, has he?
No.
As in, all through his career. See, Moto3. Almost
ran out victorious.
Actually, it was into the last corner.
Yeah, he was leading.
He led it into the last. This is the team manager, team owner, Lucio Cecchinello. Honestly, the nicest guy in the paddock.
So polite. The line for the penultimate time.
Team manager, team owner, Lucio Cecchinello. Honestly, the nicest
rider across the line for the penultimate time.
Corner to be world champion.
It was a dive bomb.
Cecchinello. Honestly, the nicest guy in the paddock.
I'm so polite saying, I don't suppose you mind. This has been right on the edge, hasn't it? Because you know... Look,
that's what I like to see.
The classic. Stefan Bradl's gone, so Brad Binder picking the bike back up and going out there. Jonas Folger will be picking up points.
That's it, nice and easy, Rins. Just hit your markers, just keep it smooth. And I tell you, nobody saw this coming. Yes, we knew he was good around this track. Winning in all classes was a 10th and a 9th. You know, it's incredible what he's done.
Right, not watch. He can't even watch Alex Rins as he comes down the back for Rins. This is the one that is going to be the trickiest. Cheers from the crowd. Tree when Marquez also crashed out of the lead in this race. Remember the problem with the bike back in 2019. Eases the bike up towards turn 15, a little bump there. Really
it goes right out. The weirdest riding style. We've never seen anything like it, because it's like, you know,
then what a ride this is from Alex Rins. It's going to be his 6th victory in Honda. Wins again for the first time since Cal Crutchlow did it in Argentina. Fireworks, 2nd place for Luca Marini, the first time on the podium for him in MotoGP. Vinales is 4th, Oliveira 5th, Bezzecchi 6th, Showan Zarco in 7th. But Rins...
It's just been bizarre, hasn't it? I mean, this track's been so difficult. So imagine the conversation at Ducati right now.
I mean, they will know. Bagnaia keeps telling us, I've got to take responsibility, I've got to cut out these... And will it cost him this year is the question.
Well, the problem is they keep happening in the races. He'd go down 2 or 3